going to be a good time. I'm excited to be here with you guys. It's been a wonderful day for me. I had a good workout. I'm feeling good. I think I look good for a 43-year-old man. Thank you. I'm 37. Aging's hard. I know I'm not aging poorly, but people are talking to me a little bit differently lately. I went to the doctor last week with a back problem, and in my 20s he'd say things like, what kind of impact injury caused this? You want to know the first thing he asked me at 37? Do you stretch before you sleep? I said I was going to take a nap, but I'm not sure if my HMO covers it. I tell you, aging for me really became a real thing. You notice I shave my head now. I was one of those balding guys that was holding on to every wisp of hair with every fiber of my being. And I gotta tell you, if you're a balding man and you go get a haircut, barbers talk to you in crazy ways. They just make stuff up. I had a barber one time tell me, you know, Louie, if we cut your hair shorter, it'll look like you have more hair. No, it won't. Or else can you use that kind of logic? Go to the dentist missing a tooth and he goes, you know, if we knock the rest of them out, it'd be a full smile. The reason I started shaving my head, literally the last haircut I ever got, the lady just started cutting my hair without even asking me. And I was like, don't you need to know what I want? And she said, well, there's really not much we can do for you anymore. Am I balding or going into hospice? It's not good. I think it's the stress that did it to me. You know, I've been stressed my whole adult life. When I was a kid, I was stressed. And you're not supposed to be stressed as a kid, but I was raised in the 1990s, and you know, as a kid, you're supposed to make, like, the world is supposed to make sense for you to feel okay. And if you were raised in the 90s, all the entertainment that was given to us didn't do that at all. It was clearly made by drug addicts. And if you don't remember, I have 4 words for you. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, my girlfriend is not from this country, and recently I explained the Ninja Turtles to her, and nothing has ever made me sound crazier in my entire life. She said, how did the turtles learn karate? And I was like, a rat taught them? She said, a talking rat? And I was like, yeah, he had a really racist Japanese accent too. She tried though. She said Japanese, were they named after kung fu masters? And I was like, Italian painters. Like, of course everyone in my generation has an anxiety disorder. If you were a parent in the 90s, I'd give you so much credit because you got no help from any media whatsoever. Certainly not music, you know? The music of the 90s, it was chaos. There were no rules. You could do anything you wanted. My dad tried to preempt it. He made us listen to songs from his era. He'd always, like, listen to the Rolling Stones, Wild Horses, you know? And we had a horse song, too, in the 90s. It was called Pony by Genuine. His pony, not one that I rode at the fair. My first favorite song, I was 6 years old, and I loved this song called All for Love by Color Me Bad. Begged my mommy to get me the CD, and you know what? She did. We didn't know that their number 1 hit was called I Wanna Sex You Up. And I gotta tell you something, back then, the warehouse didn't have return policies. So my mom said, if you guys are gonna listen to this in the house, you have to sing different lyrics. My mom used to make us sing, ooh, I wanna 7-Up. All night. It goes flat if you leave it all night. I think the end of the 90s was when morals went away for good, though, in music. 1998, there was a group called Next, came out with a song called Too Close. Some of you are nodding your heads, some of you don't know it. I'll sing a little bit for you. It's about 2 people dancing, and halfway through the chorus, the lady sings to the man, step back, you're dancing kinda close. I feel a little poke coming through. on you. The number one song in the 60s was called I Wanna Hold Your Hand. In the 90s it was There's a Boner Against My Leg, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Oh, so what'd you do? What'd you do? Go to school? Try to become a good person at school? My generation, I was the first generation where we had computers in the classroom. You know, we had the computer lab. And so they'd send us to the computer lab to play games that told us how the world worked, made us feel good about the world, like the Oregon Trail. You're all grown up after playing the Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail, for those who don't remember, is a game where you take a party of people from the middle of the country all the way to Oregon on a wagon, and you lose all your innocence along the way. That was the first time I learned you could die from exhaustion. I was 8 years old. I went home, my mom was like, I'm so exhausted. I was like, lay down, sit down, what can we do? Terrifying. The first screen of the Oregon Trail, you remember the first screen, what they ask you to do? You're in charge of the party, you have to name every member of your party. You're 8, you know mom, dad, brother, sister. So they all die 5 minutes into the game. Not emotionally ready for that at 8. So my parents would do board game nights at home, you know. My mom brought home Operation. You guys remember Operation? Where your parents paid $20 and you get PTSD. What a horrifying night that is for a child. My mom's like, you're 5, take these electrified tweezers. Go save Mo from the Three Stooges. What do you think the pitch meeting was like for that game? I imagine the guy walked into the office like, I got an idea for a kid's game. They were like Candyland? More like surgery. Okay, educational. If the kids make a mistake, we teach them about the human body. Or we shock them with a small car battery. So that's the game board then? The fully grown naked man with his eyes just wide open? Should we cover him a little bit? What if we just make him fat enough to cover the dick? Put one in every store, I guess. Yeah, the other one from my generation that messed us up was Guess Who. You guys remember? Guess Who? Taught us a lot about racial profiling. Not a diverse game, Guess Who? Like, there are 4 billion Asian people in the world, and Hasbro's like, not in this game, there's not. You could be blonde, brunette, redhead, or you could be a black woman named Anne. That made for a really short game, too, if you picked Anne, right? It was always the first question, is your character black? Oh, shit. Click, 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 click. I've seen they've updated Guess Who a lot, because you just couldn't make the original version in 2022 like they had it in the 90s. Our country's just way too politically polarized for Guess Who. We'd need a liberal Guess Who and a conservative Guess Who now. And nobody wins. In the new version, before you take a turn, first you have to win a Facebook fight against a distant relative. It's like, does your character have dark hair? Does your character know the Constitution? You have different questions in each one, too, you know? Liberal Guess Who, you'd have to ask questions like, which restroom would your character choose today? But in the conservative one, you'd have questions like, if your character moved to my neighborhood, what would happen to property values? There's two reactions to that joke. Half of you hear that joke and you're like, oh my God, that's so true. And the other half of you hear it and you go, oh my God, that's so true. I don't make board games. Fun times in my life. I just got engaged. Excited about that. Trying to make my house nicer for her, and I didn't know how, so I went and bought a bidet. Found a $400 bidet. I'm like, this is luxury. I gotta tell you, I was on Amazon buying this bidet, and I was about to click buy, and I saw that there were other buying options. I got curious. You can buy this bidet new for $400. Or used for $380. I gotta tell you something, that doesn't, like, if you are looking for a bidet, but $20 is your breaking point, like, come talk to me at the end of the show. I got a super soaker in my car. Save you the whole month. What? It's disgusting, I heard it is. Why would somebody want a used bidet? It has to be environmental or something, right? Like save the parts or something. I'm an environmentalist. I want to save the environment, but I gotta tell you, my passion for the environment stops like 2 inches from my rectum. Climate change wins. Yeah. Other fun stuff. This isn't fun at all, but okay, this is fun. I'm a college professor as my other gig. I'll tell you guys that. And I became a college professor because I love experts and I wanted to become one. And then I became an expert in 2022. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but experts not really popular right now. And I know that because I hear this all the time. I hear people say, "I'm not a scientist, but." You've heard this, right? And I don't care about differing opinions, but don't tell me what you aren't, and then give me your shitty advice. Let me know what I'm working with. Tell me what you are. You know, like, I'm a barista, but I think you should invest in crypto. I might just be your auto mechanic, but that looks like a yeast infection. Be a better world. I think people don't like experts because experts will sometimes tell you things that you're not ready to hear. Happened to me recently. I went to the doctor, and my doctor was feeling around in my nipple area. I thought it was because I had good health care. She said to me, you're going to have to go get a mammogram. 37-year-old man. I wasn't ready to hear that. You know, but she's an expert, so I was gonna. Oh, and she said you're gonna have to go get a mammogram, and don't worry, she said, it's totally normal for men. I was like, something tells me if it were, you wouldn't have had to say that. But I went because she's an expert. I was so emasculated. I was so nervous. I got to the counter to check in, and I whispered. I was like, I'm here for an appointment. And she said, we'll get you checked in. And she handed me my check-in card, which was just a 9x12 hot pink sign that said mammography across the front of it. Might as well print that on a purse while I'm walking through the... So I go into the next room, and the lab tech is there, and the lab tech says to me, have you had a mammogram before? And I was so nervous, I said no, but I do pee sitting down sometimes. And I like a nice rosé. She said, don't worry, it's totally normal for men to get mammograms. I was like, why do you all have to keep saying that to me? And ladies, I related you so much in that moment. Ladies, I assume some of you have had mammograms. Men, I assume you all had, since it's so normal for all of us. But they put you in front of what appears to be a panini press. My lady said, can you put your breast on the platform? I said, can we not call it that? So I shimmied up. I gotta tell you, I got the news you all want to hear, right? At the end, she said, it's nothing to worry about. I'm like, thank God. I'm starting to feel a little bit more like a man again in that moment. And she says, what you have is called gynecomastia. I know, she hit really hard on the gyne part of that word. She said it means that your body's producing too much estrogen, so you're gonna have a little extra breast tissue. I said, so you're telling me that last night, when I was contemplating my existence, fearing that I'd be fighting for my life, that my medical diagnosis is man boobs? So I gotta go back for my pap smear in a few weeks. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Are you guys ready for your next comedian, ladies and gentlemen?